Hey guys, so this week we are going to be calculating speed. So speed equals distance divided by time. So we're going to get to do a little bit of math in science. So that shows you how related science and math can be sometimes. So we're going to be focused on finding the speed given the time and distance. But we're also going to be looking at finding the distance given the time and speed, and also finding the time given the speed and distance. So these are all equations that I will show you, but first we're going to talk about speed and some other things. So first we're going to talk about speed, velocity, and acceleration. The main one we need to focus on is speed. So speed is the amount of distance something goes in a time period, and that is where we get the equation speed equals distance divided by time. Next we have velocity. So velocity is just speed that has direction. And then acceleration is gaining or increasing speed, like you're accelerating. So to calculate speed, we're going to look at this first example. So we said that speed equals distance divided by time. So our first example says an elephant walked 30 miles in 3 hours. So I know that my distance is 30 miles. So 30 miles is my distance. I'm going to represent that with a D, a little arrow there. And 3 hours is my time. So I'm going to represent that with a little T. So we know that, hold on, let me hide this little thing so I can have some extra space. Actually, I have a better idea. We can just add a little shape here so we have room to work it out. And then I'll change my shape to white, and now I'm good. So speed equals distance divided by time. So I'm going to represent S, speed with an S, and then my distance is 30, and my time is 3 hours. So to find my speed, I just need to divide these two numbers. 30 miles divided by 3 hours. So 30 divided by 3, 3 goes into 30 10 times. So my speed is 10, but make sure you include the units. So we have 30 miles per, and then 3 hours. So that gives us a speed of 10 miles per hour. So that's pretty fast for an elephant, I think. So the elephant was walking 10 miles per hour. Now I'm going to move my little shape over. Next one we have says a train travels 100 miles in 4 hours. So speed equals distance over time. And you might see it look like this in some equations where it'll be like distance over time, which this fraction bar represents division. So this is the same thing as this. So that means that speed equals distance, which is 100 miles, divided by time, which is 4 hours. So we have to think about how many times 4 will go into 100. So what times 4 equals 100? We could do this with long division, but these numbers are pretty simple. 4 times what equals 100? I like to think of quarters. If I have 4 quarters, I have $1, and each quarter is worth 25 cents. So 25 times 4, 25, 50, 75, 100. So 100 divided by 4 is 25. Don't forget we have miles per hour. So you can write it like MPH, like you usually see it, or you can do miles per hour with a little slash. So we have 25 miles per hour is how fast the train was traveling. Okay, let's look at our next one. It says a car travels 496 miles in 8 hours. So we have our distance, which is 496, and our time, which is 8. So this one is going to be S, speed equals distance, 496 divided by 8. So this one I am going to use long division because I can't do this one in my head. So big number goes inside the box and becomes my dividend. Sorry, my handwriting's not the best. I'm doing it on my computer instead of my smartboard. So I'm going to start my long division process. 8 goes into 4 how many times? 0. So now I'm going to move over to my 49. How many times does 8 go into 49? So we can skip count to figure that out. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and if I go another, I'll get 56. So I have 6 fingers up, so it goes in 6 times. 6 times 8 equals 48. Subtract those and get 1. And then I need to bring down my 6. Right when I bring something down, I need to repeat. 8 goes into 16 2 times. 2 times exactly. 2 times 8 equals 16. Subtract those and get 0. So my answer I got was 62. So the car is traveling 62 miles per hour. So that is how we calculate speed. We just take the distance and divide it by the time. So let's go ahead and look at our other equations. All right, so if we look at this equation chart right here, and I have included this on your Nearpod so that you can always go back and look. So we have speed equals distance divided by time. We already did that. So the equation for distance is speed times time, and the equation for time is distance divided by speed. All of these equations are just, they're all related, and they're just rearranged to help you find the answer. So let's say they already gave us a speed of 30 miles per hour. And then our time was 10 hours. So we're trying to find how far they went. If they drove for 10 hours and they were going 30 miles per hour, we just need to multiply these. They gave us the speed, they gave us the time. So if I multiply 30 times 10, I would get a distance of 300 miles. That's a really slow way to drive for 10 hours, but maybe you're on a camel or something. Well, I don't know if a camel would do 30 miles per hour. But anyways, that's how we found our distance. We were given speed already, and we were given time, so that's when we found our distance. So to find time, we have distance. So let's say we go 5 miles at a speed of 15. Let's not do 15. Let's do 15 miles and a speed of 5 miles per hour. So we're trying to find our time in hours. So all I need to do is distance divided by speed. 15 divided by 5. 5 goes into 15 3 times. So we're in hours is our unit, miles per hour. So it would be 3 hours. So that is how you find speed given the distance and time. That's how you find distance given the speed and time. And that's how you find time given the distance and speed. So these are pretty simple equations. You just have to do some long division and multiplication, which they shouldn't be too difficult of problems. So that is your work for this week. Please let me know if you have any sort of questions. Thank you. Now I'm going to try to figure out how to stop this without erasing my video.